different types of engines on the Sodor railway. Steam engines that run on coal, diesel engines that run on oil, and tram engines that have side plates to prevent people and animals from being dragged under their wheels. There was a new engine on Sodor. His name is Scruff. He is shaped like a diesel, but is he a diesel? On top of Scruff, you can see a small funnel. Steam engines always have funnels, so that tells you that he is a steam engine. Scruff is shunting in the yard today. Just then, Billy saw Scruff. "Hello there, I'm Scruff." "Are you a diesel?" said Billy. "No, what are you talking about?" said Scruff. "Don't lie to me, diesels are always dirty," said Billy. "I'm not, look, I'm wishing out steam, plus I have a funnel." "Oh, silly Billy," said Neville. "Don't you have any work to do?" "Oh, bye," said Billy. "Sorry about that. Billy is always being silly. That's what everyone calls him, Silly Billy," said Neville. "I could tell," said Scruff. "I'm Scruff, and who are you?" "I'm Neville. Nice to meet you." "Some of the engines today keep asking if I'm a diesel or not, just because I am shaped like one. I'm a steam engine that has a square body like a diesel." "Can I tell you about the time when I first arrived on Sodor?" said Neville. "Of course," said Scruff. "When I first came on Sodor, everyone thinks I look different, but I don't mind that, because I can see that there are many other engines that have different shapes, like TOMY the tram engine. He is special because he has side plates to prevent people and animals from being dragged under their wheels. And there's Harvey, who is a crane and a steam engine, 2 in 1, and always helps engines back on track. The engines have different shapes, and different colors too, plus different speeds, like for example, Gordon can pull the express very fast, and even Spencer can run faster too. Plus, if every engine on Sodor is the same, then the world would be quite boring. When Ari and Bert first saw me, they laughed because they think steamies are dirty. I don't really care what they say. I couldn't even tell those two apart. They don't have nameplates for some reason. Billy saw me with the Iron twins and thinks I'm friends with them, but I'm not. So Billy told everyone about it. Sir Topham Hatt had heard about this and soon stopped the confusion. And soon Billy was sorry to me. "I now realize," says Scruff, "that being different can be special at all, like my color." There's a blue engine named Edward who mentioned earlier that lime green is the perfect color for me. Plus, I like to help keep Sodor clean by pulling all the garbage cars all the way to the waste dump, where my new friend Whiff works there. Whiff and I are different, but we both help try to keep Sodor clean. It was nice talking to you, Neville. "You too, Scruff," said Neville. "Now I gotta go. Bye." And Neville popped away. The next day, Scruff and Whiff were working together at the waste dump. Hope the steam engines pop backwards and forwards with the waste trucks all day. Sometimes, after the work is done, Neville stops quite often and asks him how's his day. Plus, both Scruff and Edward whistled when they see each other.
Donald and Douglas are Scottish twins. Donald's number is 9 and Douglas's number is 10. The two always work together, they talk to each other, and even whistle to each other all day. One day, Douglas is pulling the garbage trucks. He's going to bring them all the way to the waste dump. The trucks were very old, and they don't like being pulled around with garbage on them. As Douglas got to the top of the hill, the troublesome trucks pushed him down on the other side. "Oh, come on," said Douglas. "This never gets old," said the troublesome trucks. "It's getting old to me," said Douglas. Douglas was heading towards the signal, and the signal was red. Douglas applied his brakes so hard. Soon he stopped, and the side rods came off. "Oh dear," said Douglas. Help soon arrived. His twin Donald had to take the garbage trucks all the way to the waste dump. And Neville had to take Douglas to the Sodor steamworks to have his side rods being placed back on his drive wheels. Donald arrived at the waste dump, and soon the job was done. Donald went to visit his twin Douglas at the Sodor steamworks. "Hello, Douglas. Hello, Victor," said Donald. "Hello, my friend. Do you need to be fixed too?" said Victor. "No, I just want to see if Douglas is fixed yet." "Almost, Donald, but not yet," said Douglas. "It's almost nighttime. I'm going to pull the flying kipper." "You've been blowing your whistle too much lately," said Douglas. "Yeah," said Donald. 2 days ago, I was working at the quarry, and the quarry dust went all over my whistle, and I didn't got the chance to clean it up yet. Don't whistle too much, otherwise it won't work properly. Doug told me once that he was at the Arstow Railway and his whistle broke. Plus, I believe he told me that there was a small red engine named Mike who also had a broken whistle too," said Douglas. Yeah, I know," said Donald. "I'm pretty sure that it won't happen tonight. Plus, I like whistling. Anyways, I gotta go. Bye, Douglas." And Donald hopped away. Donald was now pulling the flying kipper. He whistled long and loud. Donald had to stop at a signal, just to let Percy pass by. Percy whistled to him, and Donald tried to blow his whistle, but his whistle came up, went up in the air, and went onto the ground. "Oh dear, my whistle broke." "Your whistle's very old," said Donald's driver, "and you keep blowing it too much. Now what are we going to do?"
"We can't go without a whistle. It'll be too dangerous. Because without a whistle, how are we going to alert the people just to let them know that we are coming?" Just then, Donald and his driver heard a whistle. Couldn't be Donald's whistle because it was now broken. It was his twin brother Douglas. He had his side rods placed back in his wheels. "Hello." "I needed help," said Donald. "No worries. We'll get the train to the station. We can do it," said Douglas.
Douglas went right in front of Donald and coupled to him. "Don't break your whistle," said Donald. "Don't break your tie rods," said Douglas. After the job was complete, Donald and Douglas were now back at the sheds. "Thanks for helping me with the flying kipper," said Donald. "You were right about me blowing my whistle too much." "Thanks for bringing the garbage trucks to the waste dump for me," said Douglas. "We're twins," said Donald. "We always help each other out. Sometimes it's better to be working together." Thomas was at Tim's sheds, and he was filling up water in his boiler. He was going to shunt in the yard today with Edward. "Hello, Thomas," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Hello, sir," said Thomas. "I hope I don't get into another accident." "Yeah, I know," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Luckily, we got the breakdown trains. And also there's Harvey the crane engine. I remember meeting two cranes, Jerome and Judy, when I first arrived on Sodor. I remember the time you pulled those cranes just to help James from a nasty accident." "There are way too many accidents these days," said Thomas. Accidents always happen. Next morning, Percy was doing his favorite job, pulling the mail train. Percy was a bit tired, but still glad to be doing his favorite job. As Thomas was passing by, he said something to Percy. "Don't get into an accident, Percy, even on Friday the 13th, which is today." Friday the 13th? What does that mean? Percy was pulling the mail train all the way to Olmsted Castle. He was thinking about what Thomas had said to him earlier. "Don't get into an accident, Percy, even on Friday the 13th, just today." I wonder what Thomas meant by Friday the 13th. Percy soon arrived at Olmsted Castle. "Stephen, I want to tell you something," said Percy. "Thomas told me something about Friday the 13th. Do you know what that means?" "Yes, I do know," said Stephen. "Friday the 13th is the day that someone will have bad luck. People say Friday the 13th is an unlucky day due to a sudden accident, and something terrible will happen to them." "Really?" said Percy. "Oh no. I hope I don't get into an accident today." "No, you won't, Percy. Remember the time when you had an unlucky day once? I told you that things happen. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. It's just your own luck." And also, engines have gotten into an accident back in the past. But things turned out very well in the end. You know what I'm saying? "You always make a good point, Stephen," said Percy. "I remember the time when I promised Thomas to take the children home during a rainy day. And I went through a flood once. I also remember taking a plunge in the water at the harbor, and I had to wait till nighttime just to be rescued. After that, I don't like the water. But my best friend Thomas told me that water isn't that bad. It's just like having water in my boiler. I remember he once said that to Henry." Percy was ready to go. "People say that Friday the 13th is a bad day. But things happen. I told you that things happen. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. It's just your own luck." Charlie is a little purple tank engine. He has 6 red wheels, a gold lamp, and also the number 14 painted on his side. Charlie is sometimes cheeky, but Charlie is a good friend, and he always works hard every time. Charlie was working at the quarry one day. He decided it would be fun to play a trick on someone. So Tom had said that you don't need to work today. You can only stay here for a while. Okay, said Dennis. But what Dennis didn't know is that Charlie was only playing a trick. Dennis stayed there for minutes. Just then, Bill and Ben popped up. "What are you doing here, Dennis?" said Bill. "Being lazy again," said Ben. "I'm not being lazy. Charlie said that Sir Topham had told me to stay here. Sir Topham had said that I don't need to work today." Oh, Charlie. He's been playing tricks lately, even today on April Fool's Day. I think you, Dennis, have been tricked by Charlie.
Tricked? Wait, what? I've been tricked? Oh, Charlie.
Hello, Dennis. What's the matter? Is it Charlie playing a trick on you? Yeah. I can't believe he would do that to me. We gotta do something. I'm going to talk to Sir Topham Hatt about this, said Fergus. Maybe he'll tell Charlie to stop. Charlie was shunting in the yard. Then Sir Topham Hatt arrived on Winston. Charlie, you're a good friend, but you must know that this is my railway, and everything needs to run like clockwork. You need to focus more on your work rather than playing tricks. Oh, okay, said Charlie. I understand. The engines will keep an eye on you. They're going to be watching you to see if you're going to play a trick. Yes, sir, said Charlie. The engines at the quarry kept an eye on him. Charlie was now more focused on his work. He kept thinking about the engines he had played a trick on. That afternoon, the work was completely finished. And all the engines were talking about how Charlie done his job properly. He did an excellent job, Sir, said Boko. He's doing his job right, said Fergus. Well, Sister Topham Hatt, I am very impressed, Charlie. You are a very useful engine. Thank you, sir, said Charlie. And I have learned my lesson. I learned that I shouldn't play tricks on an engine because, well, it could lead to disaster. Good thing Charlie learned his lesson. I hope he doesn't play another trick again. Charlie playing tricks is just as crazy, just like the dream I had last night. Crazy dream, actually, pretty strange. Engines always have random, crazy dreams sometimes. Whiff and Scruff are both tank engines, and they both collect rubbish. The rubbish goes all the way to Whip's waste dump. Whip's waste dump handles Sodor's refuse, and it is located at the Peel Godred's branch line. Both Whip and Scruff help try to keep the island of Sodor clean. And so does the other engines. We puff back and forth with the waste trucks all day. Hello, said Whiff. Whiff could see Daisy sitting in the siding. Daisy is a diesel railcar who has been known to consider herself highly sprung, right up to date. She is confident in herself and can sometimes, be bothered by the stinky smell of the rubbish. Ugh, said Daisy. Whatever is that rubbish? Oh, that's just the stinky smell coming from Scruffy. It's the garbage that's loaded on me, Scruffy. Scruffy was loaded with stinky rubbish on him because he has been playing tricks lately. And Sir Topham had punished him by having Scruffy to be, a garbage truck. Better take that garbage away, said Daisy. You mean waste, said Whiff. Oh, what's the difference? Okay, said Whiff. It's just garbage. Take it seriously over just garbage. I thought you said it's waste. Ugh, whatever. Ugh, what is this? Said Daisy. I don't know, said Scruff. I'm not sure where that garbage came from. Who would put rubbish all over the tracks? An engine could have run over and get into an accident. And plus, we're gonna be late because of this mess. This is messed up. Who would do something like this? Toby is an old steam train. He has a number 7, and he has a gold bell. Toby also have cow catchers and side plates to prevent people and animals from being dragged under his wheels. That's what makes Toby very special. His advanced age and design means that he is weaker than the other engines. Toby is old-fashioned, but he is hard-working, and he knew enough about running a branch line to justify running Thomas a Daisy after Percy's accident with the trucks. Toby also has a passenger coach named Henrietta. Just like Toby, Henrietta is quite faithful and old-fashioned, who likes to be full of passengers and take them on journeys. She does not like to be separated from Toby, although she really carries a full load of passengers. Toby is attached to Henrietta and always takes her with him. And they are both very useful. It was a very bad weather today. The engines are always trying to keep up the good work. The rain is starting now, said Toby. Yeah, said Percy. I remember the time when I plunged into the water. And one thing to remember, sometimes water is never good when troublesome trucks are near. Trucks once pushed me onto a tight rope, and I was afraid of falling in the water. Looks like you two are afraid of water, said James. I'm the bravest engine on Sodor. No, said Toby. There was this narrow gauge engine I met once. His name is Bertram. He is nicknamed the Old Warrior because he's so brave, even braver than you. Ha, said James. I remember when you were scared of the bees and trees, said Percy. Hey, that rhymed. James popped away, ignoring them. That night, there was a thunderstorm and it had rained even more, and it was windy. Duck was pulling some trucks that morning. He was now heading for trouble. Harold the helicopter could see that there was flood all over the tracks. Duck splashed into the water. The water had put out his fire. Duck couldn't move, so Harold went for help. Meanwhile, James was at the yards shunting. In the siding, there was a line of trucks and towed the brake van. Just then, the yard manager went to talk to James. Oliver and Rocky went to go help Duck out of the water, so James, you must take these trucks to the docks. Trucks? James cannot believe what he had heard. James could see Toad at the back of the train. Hello, Mr. James. What's wrong? It should be obvious. Troublesome trucks, said James. James coupled to the trucks, and he set off all the way to Brandon Docks.
Oliver is supposed to pull us today,
said one truck.
but all we got is this red tomato?
Said the another.
Let's play a trick.
James was going very fast. Slow down, Mr. James. The rails are wet and slippery. You could fall off the rails. I know what I'm doing, said James. I go this fast all the time. James approached Gordon's hill. Just then, James saw a branch on the line. James ran over it, making the trucks break the coupling. Oh no! They rolled down the hill.
Faster, faster, faster.
The signalman saw the runaway trucks, and he switched them into another track.
On, on, on.
The train was going on the track that led to the flood, where Oliver and Rocky are helping Duck out of the water. Don't worry, Duck. We'll get you out of the water. Very strange how one duck doesn't like being in water. Get it? Oh, not funny? Okay. Duck was about to get out of the water when Toad was getting near the buffers. Toad put his brakes on as hard as he could. He and the truck smashed through the buffers just as Toad went in the water. Luckily, no one was hurt. Hey, Mr. Duck. Hey, Toad. Well, said Oliver, a pond is the only place for a duck and a toad, I suppose. Get it? Not funny? Okay. Soon, everything was now back to normal. It had been a crazy day for everyone, but everything is just fine. And they all try to be very useful. Isn't it a beautiful morning? Said Edward. Yes, it is, said Henry. Nothing is more beautiful than my shiny red coat of paint, said James. Here we go again, said Gordon. James, remember the time when you were painted in a black livery? Yes, said James. I remember the time when Gordon got stuck on the hill, said Edward, and I helped him all the way up to the top. That's how the big steep hill was named Gordon's Hill. Lots of stuff is happening on the Northwestern Railway, said Thomas. It's history, said Edward. Oh, and Henry, remember the time when you went into a tunnel? Because once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. That's me, said Henry. Because the rain will spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes, he said. And that's how the tunnel was named Henry's Tunnel, said Henry. Hey, we should all talk about how Thomas first arrived on Sodor. Oh yes, said Edward. Thomas, when you first arrived on Sodor, you were in a different color. Yeah, said Thomas. My first days on Sodor wasn't always easy. But I thank you, Edward, for helping me how to do my work properly. You're welcome, Thomas, said Edward. James, remember the time when you had that accident with the trucks years ago? Said Thomas. Yeah, said James. I still remember that. Thanks for helping me get back on track though. But I'll admit, if it wasn't for my wooden brake blocks that caught on fire, and it weren't for those tubs and trucks pushing me, I would have never been painted red. I still look very splendid with my shiny red coat of paint. There are so many adventures that we have in the past. It's history.
Thomas could see a truck full of paint cans, and the truck is on top of the trees. There was a little bit of rain last night, but there's no thunder. I wonder why the truck is on the track. Someone should clean this up. I would help, but Sir Topham had told me to go to Brendam Docks. Just then, Purple Diesel pushed Thomas towards the truck. Paint splattered all over Thomas.
You just got splattered.
Who pushed me? Said Thomas. It looked like a Purple Diesel, said Thomas's driver.
Great, now I got paint splattered all over me.
Wait a sec. Splattered paint? Purple Diesel engine? The Diesel must be splattered. One of Diesel 10's henchmen. Diesel 10 must be planning something, said Thomas. We gotta do something. We should, said Thomas's driver. But first, we gotta get you cleaned up. I'm afraid you won't be doing your job today.